Hello and welcome everyone to Turner Gymnasium at the campus of the University of Lynchburg for this NCAA Division III ODAC men's basketball matchup between the 5-3 University of Lynchburg Hornets and the 4-2 Bridgewater Eagles. My name is Ethan Moronsky, and my partner in crime today is Kevin Nestor. Kevin, we haven't been able to do this all semester where it's just been you and I on a call. It's going to be a ton of fun. What do you think about this ball game?
Yeah, absolutely. And then you look at the court, we got a lot of ODAC star power. You look in the booth for the first time in, 18 months, we got a lot of star power in the booth. Man, this is going to be a blast. We got two really good teams going at it on the hardwood. Get to roll with my man Ski for the call. It's going to be a lot of fun today.
Well, both these teams have a pretty ideal start. They've got a lot of wins on the board. But with that being said, we'll jump right into both the team statistics. It's going to be a great matchup between these two teams. And when you look at it, obviously Lynchburg with the 76.5 points per game and Bridgewater down there at 67.7. But we expect it's going to be a close matchup the whole way through, being an ODAC game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing is going to be trying to see which team kind of has that inside mentality. Both of these teams like to shoot the three ball. You'll see them put up quite a few in the early stages. If it starts falling, sure, keep going with it because you have the firepower to do so. But which one's going to kind of get off into the races, playing that battle in the paint? That's going to be where this game's won at today.
Yeah, and like you said, with the battle in the paint, 41.9 rebounds for Lynchburg. And going on to the rebound department, let's go to our player to watch for Lynchburg. And we want to highlight him every single game. It's tough not to, but you got Jamarcus Brown, number 35, the sophomore, who is just a walking highlight reel. He is absolutely outstanding, was an animal on the court last year, and he's just taken an extra step this year. And the numbers really prove it. 18 points per game is outstanding for this young gentleman.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been insane. You talk about his freshman campaign. I mean, he came in and he was that highlight reel. You saw him contribute a lot to this team on the offensive end and defense, and he's took that role and kind of leapt with it. I mean, you look at him this year, 4 double-doubles in the last 5 games for this Hornet squad. His impact, obviously outside of the highlight reel plays, it's something to keep an eye on. But you never know, man, because at any point in time, we can be talking about him, and then he'll get up on the rim and throw something down. So you got to keep an eye on Jamarcus Brown.
You go back to that Randolph game where he had the putback yam. It is impressive. Every time he does it, it brings the entire gym to your feet, away or home. It's a lot of fun watching him, and we'll go on the other side with number 2, Jameer Brown for the Bridgewater Eagles. He's actually coming off the bench today, but 12.7 points per game, 2.8 rebounds, 2 assists, 28 points in the season opener. I mean, that is absolutely outstanding numbers. This is somebody that, obviously coming off the bench, you expect with your leading points per game, you want him to start, but you have a role player like that coming out onto your depth. That's huge for a team.
Yeah, so I thought that was a typo, what we had down there, and I was able to catch up with Josh, works for Bridgewater. Plug that he goes in for Bridgewater and gets buckets, and when you look at the stat sheet, that stands out. Like you said, leading scorer, almost 13 points a game. And he's getting it done on the inside, not shooting as well outside, 0 for 7 so far in the season from 3. But this man, he can get it done really inside, and that's where he goes to work. He's so quick with the buckets. He's good at flashy passes. He gets his teammates involved. He's a guy to keep an eye on whenever he gets in the game for the Eagles.
It's going to be a fun ODAC matchup between these two teams, both of them looking for their second ODAC win of the season. We'll be back after a short break with the national anthem here on LHSN and FloSports. we welcome you back to Turner Gymnasium. Ethan Morotsky with Kevin Nestor, and we'll jump right into it, going towards the Bridgewater Eagles starting lineup. Like we mentioned, Kevin, our player to watch, Jameer Brown, on the bench. Like you mentioned how he's really that role player off the bench, but starting off, we've got Moose Diop, Mason Ramey, Bradley Owens, Javon Jenkins, and Mykese Ingram. You look at this Bridgewater squad, they've got 11 upperclassmen and 5 freshmen that came in this season. Kevin, what does that tell you for a team in the future for this season?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of veteran leadership. You look at their starting 5 plus the player to watch, Jameer Brown coming off the bench, all 3 of those guys juniors. So, in a perfect world, you keep them next year and you continue to develop that team culture. But this team, they have a lot of trust in those upperclassmen and kind of develop in the class that they got coming in.
And on the flip side for Lynchburg, you've got your main man, Jamarcus Brown, starting us off. Jason Eason right behind him with Jake Hart, Pearson Young. Jesse Mitchell will be playing the perimeter. This is a similar lineup to what we saw against Randolph. Kevin, you called radio with that game with Joe Brennan. What did you see on this squad with that beatdown on the Hill City Classic?
Yeah, what was impressive to me is how deep Lynchburg got. I mean, 14 players entered that game, 13 of them scored a point. And, just covering ODAC, I've been in LHSN for a year and a half now. I was at Ferrum for 3 years. And I've been a big basketball fan ever since I've been in college. And I've never seen a You can't underestimate what they do. Every single person on this team has a role, and they play it exceptionally well. If Lynchburg, whenever they're humming, they're a tough squad to come out and beat. You
mentioned how deep they were. The only injured player that won't be seen today for 100% would be Caden Hammond, the freshman center from Burlington, North Carolina. He's got a lot of height, a lot of weight, big character. Can't wait to see him get back on the court. But something we're super excited, or 2 people we're super excited to see back on the bench getting some minutes, is Mike Gray and Van Nelson. Those are 2 key players on this squad. Mike Gray, obviously, really that starting point guard position all of last year. Kind of had the helm for this Lynchburg team before Jamarcus Brown kind of took it away from him this year. And Van Nelson, another great role player on this bench that we really hope to see get a couple minutes today.
Yeah, absolutely. When you talk about Mike Gray, he was just really a kind of a role player at the start of last year. And as soon as they entered ODAC play, it's like he catch fire. And he didn't lose it throughout the rest of the season and into the tournament. He was a huge key for this team. And we talked to Coach Scott before the season. He was really excited about kind of that off-season step that Gray had took. And he was looking forward to seeing him. We didn't get to see him because of injury. He's back kind of playing a limited minutes role, getting his body back under him, getting back in court shape. He's going to be a lot of fun to see the impact as he gets healthier.
Lynchburg will win the tip-off. Jamarcus Brown passing it to Pearson Young. Goes up for Jamarcus Brown, and alley-oop layup and an and one opportunity. He's starting off early. We talked about he's a human highlight reel, and there's Jamarcus Brown opening up the ball game.
Yeah, so look, for 20 games, let's call it, that I've called of this Lynchburg Hornets team, every time they win the tip, this is their go-to play, and I haven't seen a team stop it yet. It's so hard to. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to try to body up Jamarcus Brown. He's going to jump over you. You're going to try to jump with you. He's going to put you on a poster. I mean, it's so tough to guard against. Those little backdoor cuts, that's what makes him so dangerous, is how flashy he can get in just a blink of an eye.
Well, as Joe Brennan typically says, you can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. He's so good on both ends of the court. It'll be Bridgewater trying to get back.
Jamarcus Brown, again, you see it on the defensive end. A block that time. I mean, this guy, he can take over a game from the start, really. You see it down here, an acrobatic finish. I mean, what can't this guy do?
Jamarcus Brown, first 5 points for Lynchburg. Again, we're going to talk about it all night long. A human highlight reel. I mean, he was hoping he was going to get another and one there, but it'll be Mykese Ingram going up the court. Deep shot from Javon Jenkins, rebounded by Jason Easton. Lynchburg going to take it up the court, taking a commanding lead. Big shot. Jamarcus Brown, another board, going up, putting it back, and it'll be out on Lynchburg. So Bridgewater ball. It'll be Moose Diop, the junior from Raleigh, North Carolina, for the Eagles. This is a Lynchburg squad that likes to play fast, especially when you have a guy like Jamarcus Brown.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Coach Scott, so far this season in all 8 games, or now 9 games, I think his game plan's been the same to start every game. It's give the ball to 35 and get out of the way. You talk about the game at Randolph. He scored the first 8 points for the Hornets in that game, the first 5 here tonight. I mean, this guy, he comes in and he impacts the game in a big way from the tip.
Pearson Young screened up. Jenkins driving. It'll go up to Owens, puts it up. Deep 3, gets it to go. 5-3 in favor of the Hornets. Jake Hart will take it up the court for Lynchburg. He's one-on-one. Passes it to Jamarcus Brown. Pearson Young has it now. Up to Jason Easton. He's somebody that came back from injury this year. They missed last year. He's going to go to Jamarcus. Jamarcus mid-range jumper. It's the rim. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Moose Diop. He'll give it back to Jenkins. Jenkins driving. He's got two Hornets in front of him. Tries to get a reverse layup. Calling for a foul. Pearson Young. He'll draw some contact, but it'll be out on Bridgewater.
And I'll tell you what, Lynchburg did so good against Randolph is they was able to kind of contain the paint, if you will. They lived and died by allowing shots from the three-point range. You know, Randolph was a team that was only averaging 7 threes a game. They ended up taking almost 30 in that game against Lynchburg because that was the defensive game plan for the Hornets. Allow absolutely nothing inside. They were pressuring, they were trapping everything down low and forcing the kickouts. And when the teams aren't hitting their shots, it's so hard to kind of crack the defensive armor of Lynchburg because they're so good at applying pressure.
And I love that analysis. You want to force a team to do what they're not best at. Jason Easton with a deep three gets it to go.
Yeah, you talk about doing what you're best at. That's what he does. He spots up. He's a spot-up shooter from the outside, and you give him that much room, he's going to knock it down more times than not.
You know, he's marked down as a forward, but if you can drop the deep three like that, you got to think he's a big player like Brooke Lopez, somebody who could hit the deep three. It'll be Bridgewater in the rim this time. And it'll be out on the Eagles. It was Bradley Owens on the end of that one. And again, go back. This was Splash Mountain. And obviously, it's easy to talk about Lopez with us being Bucks fans, Kevin, but just a huge comparison.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a guy that, you know, he goes and gets it done. He'll chase rebounds in the defensive end, but offensively, you're not going to see him kind of work that paint much. That's DeMarcus's territory. Easton's an outside threat, and if you leave him open like you saw in the last possession, he's going to knock it down.
Jake Hart to Jesse Mitchell, back to Easton. Got a little stutter step. It's tipped away by the Eagles. Javon Jenkins with a steal. He's going to take it up the court, trying to draw a foul, gets a foul. Or they're going to call a jump ball. And so it will still be Bridgewater's ball. A good play by Jake Hart on the defensive end with a fast break going.
Yeah, and you talk about Jake Hart, that kind of just showcases exactly what he is to this team. I mean, he gets out and runs, stops transition opportunities, a guard meeting a bigger body at the rim, forcing a jump ball, kind of slowing things down and resetting his Hornet defensive squad.
Javon Jenkins with a mid-range off the pass in. It'll be rebounded by Jason Easton. Yeah, Jake Hart is a big energy guy where he's going to give you 110% on both ends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pearson Young, mid-range jump shot, gets it to go. Pearson Young, it's like that's his specialty. A beautiful shot from Young.
Yeah, and so far, Lynchburg doing a really good job at getting their shooters kind of open. You saw Easton knock down a three. Jamarcus Brown obviously started us off, and then Young right there, that signature shot. So far, they're really feeding into their guys' hands.
Ingram is hounded by Jake Hart. He'll give it to our player to watch for the Eagles, Jameer Brown. Got 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Denara Hutchinson puts it up, gets it to go. Jake Hart bringing it up the court. He's got Jamarcus Brown on his left. We imagine there he is right with the ball. Again, we're not really sure what's going to happen with Jamarcus, but we expect it's going to put us on our feet. Easton driving up to the net, draws the foul. And he's got 2 shots from the line.
And I'll tell you what's interesting about Bridgewater. We talked about Jameer Brown being a player to watch coming off the bench. Jamarcus got up to a hot start. Less than 2 minutes into the game, he checks himself in. So, I mean, that kind of tells you while he's not a starter, he's going to play those starter minutes. He's going to come in and immediately have an impact for this Bridgewater team.
And depth is so important, especially in the ODAX as Easton hits his first free throw. As when you get later on in these games, we get another look at the foul. Got a little bit of the ball, but you can definitely see some contact on the forearm as Easton nails his second free throw, puts Lynchburg to 12. But depth is so huge later on in these ball games when you get super tired, as Jenkins will put a reverse up there, gets it to go. Beautiful job from Jenkins. They're going to go quickly to Pearson Young. Passes it out to Jason Easton. Takes a shot, and they'll reset to Jake Hart. Hart drives up, looking for Jesse Mitchell. Jesse Mitchell puts it up straight away, can't get it to go. It'll be Brown taking it up the court for the Eagles. 12-7. Bridgewater trying to get some momentum. Easton playing some good defense in the paint. It's tipped away by Pearson Young, and Jamarcus Brown comes away with it, and it's taken away right away by Jameer Brown. Knocked away. We're playing a little bit of keep away for both these squads. Here comes Jamarcus Brown. Pass out to the corner. Wide open. Pearson Young can't get it to go. Lynchburg with an offensive board. Pearson Young goes way outside to Jesse Mitchell, but a whistle is blown.
Yeah, I think immediately you're kind of seeing Lynchburg's bread and butter, the pressure down low, creating the turnover on the low block, getting out and running. You saw that back-to-back times. This Lynchburg Hornet team, that's exactly their specialty. Play hard, pressure defense, trap everything, create yourself fast transition opportunities on the offensive end.
And with that whistle, we will take our first media timeout. We'll be back shortly on LHSN and FloSports. And we welcome you back. A highlight reel of Jamarcus Brown. Again, there's so much we can say about this young man, and he is so pivotal for this squad on both ends of the court.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're less than 5 minutes into the game, and we've already got a highlight package for him. That's how special he is. But if you're a real film connoisseur, I challenge you to go back and look at the first 8 games of the season for Lynchburg. You're going to see the same thing on Rich and repeat. He comes in and he makes his mark. He stamps the game early for this Lynchburg team. He sets the tone. And a lot of times, that's a good thing for Jamarcus because it gets his teammates energized, it gets them involved in the game.
Jake Hart drives up forward past to Jesse Mitchell. Deep three for Mitchell. Gets it to go. Beautiful shot from number 10, Jesse Mitchell. A transfer that has really made his way into this squad, getting some minutes, and now has been in the starting lineup for the last couple games.
Yeah, absolutely. And that offensive possession, little handoff to Jake Hart. He sealed outside, popped out, and that's his specialty. Kind of that pick and pop action. You saw it there, the dribble handoff, and then he's wide open for 3.
It'll be Ingram. Got some space. Jake Hart playing great defense. They'll give it to Hutchinson, but Jamarcus Brown with another tip. Pearson Young wasn't ready for it. Gives it right back to Jake Hart.
Yeah, defensively, that's that pressure we talk about. Any entry pass into the low block is going to be tough against this Hornets team because obviously you got Jamarcus Brown down one-on-one down there, but then the help side comes so fast. They're trying to get hands. They're trying to block those passing lanes, and you see it lead to another steal there.
Here's Jamarcus Brown, pass to Mitchell. Pearson Young in the corner. Corner 3, gets it to go. Beautiful shot from Pearson Young. He's got his 5th point of the ball game. We've got a couple substitutions, not yet, but somebody that I want to look at, Mike Gray. He's sitting down there. He's ready to come in. So, huge steal from Jesse Mitchell. Diving play. Ball still out, secured by Jake Hart.
And again, that's another one of those defensive possessions. You see the entry pass denied, getting a hand on it, creating a chance for your offense to get out and run it, and why not find 35 down low?
Jamarcus Brown draws the contact, and he'll head to the line for 2 free shots. And if the free throw department, something that this Lynchburg squad really struggled with last season, even at the beginning of this year. But really, you got to think the main focus, obviously, is to get Jamarcus the Brown, but really clean up the free throws this year because these are points when you're losing by 2 or 3 games. A missed free throw from Jamarcus Brown, but when you're losing games by 2 or 3 points, you can easily go back and say, if we hit our free throws, we're in a much better spot.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's kind of an anomaly for Jamarcus Brown because most of the times when you see guys who struggle at the free throw line, they're just not great shooters in general. But Jamarcus Brown isn't a terrible shooter. You see his favorite jump shots right there, a little 18, 20-footer from the elbow. He can knock down the 3 ball if he's open. So it's kind of the anomaly of his game. But what makes him so special is like the possession when Pearson Young knocked down the corner 3. The ball got entry to Jamarcus Brown. That's where the possession started. Bridgewater tried to bring the double, try to trap Jamarcus. It leaves the guy wide open. They kick out to Jesse Mitchell, and he's able to find Pearson Young wide open. That's the type of impact Jamarcus Brown has for this Hornet offense.
A whole bunch of substitutions for both these squads. Chris Suber, one of them. He's going to give it off to Malik Richardson. Malik Richardson to Kyron Smith. Guarded by Pearson Young like a hawk. Got Suber in the corner up to Hutchinson. Deep 3. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Eli Thomas. They'll give it to Derek Ross. DJ Ross pass to Jamarcus. He's driving up, finds Pearson Young open, drives in. They're going to get a whistle. And it looks like it was on Kyron Smith, number 4.
And so what's interesting kind of for this Lynchburg team is you see Jamarcus Brown go to the sideline, Tyler Buggs coming in, but the five they have now, only one starter on the team, but you can make a case that all of these guys are starter quality. They're kind of that caliber of player. You know, you look at DJ and his energy, Mike Gray going to take a three, and why not? That's what he does so good. That's the evolution of his game that Coach Hillary Scott talked about in the offseason.
Michael Gray, a welcome back into the Hill City. Knocks the three down. Beautiful shot. It'll be Chris Suber bringing it up to Deloach. Hutchinson, a deep three. It looked like Buggs might have gotten a tip on it. And Mike Gray will bring it up the court. He's going to go to Pearson Young. Layup, up and in. Lynchburg really off to a hot start, 24-7, thanks to Pearson Young. Suber trying to slow things down for the Eagles. You're down a ton. Just trying to get some sort of momentum. But this is the thing. This is the Lynchburg squad. Like you mentioned earlier, Kevin, they're so deep where a lot of these guys could be starters at other programs.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, I like to break it down into two ways. You got your starters who are really fundamental guys, if you will, but then you bring in a group of guys from the bench who are that energy spark plug. You got guys like Eli Thomas coming in. He's going to bring the energy. DJ's going to bring, his fast pace, his energy in. I mean, it's so hard to kind of contain a bench unit whenever they're coming in and just kind of flying around and creating so many opportunities. And what I love about the Pearson Young layup on the offensive end is that all started on the defensive end. It wasn't a steal or a turnover, but it was a quick or defensive rebound and a quick outlet pass, which is what this Lynchburg team loves to do. Get out and run and find your playmakers. Pearson Young, I mean, why not?
Deloach makes his first free throw, put the Bridgewater Eagles at 8. Is the commanding lead for the Hornets so far, but moments like these where it's a little quiet around here is something that you can, like you said, a spark plug for this Bridgewater team as Deloach knocks down the second free throw. And Derek Ross in a lot of press from the Eagles. They're trying to slow things down. But when you got somebody like DJ Ross who's just so nimble, nifty, and quick, it's hard to do so. He passed to Buggs. Buggs mid-range open shot. Beautiful. Tyler Buggs gets it to go.
Yeah, and you kind of touch on DJ. I mean, him and his brother, DeAndre both, they have that ability to kind of lull a defense to sleep. They'll hold the ball for 3 or 4 seconds at the top of the key, looking like they're going to set something up, and then in a blink of an eye, they're blowing past you or making a flashy pass to an open guy. That's what makes them so deadly.
Hutchinson driving up against Buggs. He'll give it away for Malik
my.
Deloach. What a block. Hutchinson from deep. That one's not going to touch anything. What a beautiful offensive board from Deloach. Gets it to go. I mean, this is unbelievable what we're seeing from Lynchburg, but a great job from the Eagles to stay with it and get 2 points on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Point guard Pearson Young down there playing big bodies on the other end. You talk about big bodies. Buggs knocking down the mid-range jumper.
It's like deja vu. He took that shot literally like 20 seconds ago and knocks it down again. We'll see Suber driving up. He finds a wide open Deloach. Puts it up, in and out. Buggs trying to fight for the rebound. He gets it. They'll give it to DJ Ross. This is the quickness. He's going to pass it out to Mike Gray in the corner. Can't get it to go. Rebounded. Pearson Young with some contact on the floor. It'll be a timeout. We'll have our second media timeout. We'll be right back in just a moment on LHSN. And we welcome you back into the Hill City. We'll get a replay of Pearson Young. What a denial from the senior. He has been a huge asset on the defensive end. He's multiple defensive player of the week. And Eli Thomas, just an easy layup and in. DJ Ross to Eli Thomas from the inbound. But going back to Pearson Young, he's been so key for this team over the last 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely. We know his shooting ability, showing off a little bit of that defensive ability that time. I mean, he's a guy. You talk about defense, again, that's Lynchburg's specialty. You're not going to be able to drive on these guys. You're going to find one or two bodies ready to trap, play help side, and create chances on offense like this one here.
Tyler Buggs from deep, can't get it to go. He was the one that got that steal on the defensive end. It'll be quick from Suber. Like you said, you can't drive. They're going to force you out of the paint. Mike Gray getting a little contact, and that ball hitting our very own LHSN camera woman Landon Spots. She had a great season on the volleyball squad, and first time breaching the top 25 in the coaches poll. They reached 14th in the MPI, and first time in program history making it to the NCAA tournament. So a little shout out to Landon Spots and the women's volleyball team here for Lynchburg. It'll be Suber. They'll check it in for the Eagles. Finds an open Smith. He's going to drive, hit away by Easton. Easton's trying to say, the whole team's trying to say, and they get the ball. Everybody was on that, on the refs telling them that that was last touched by an Eagle.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a great call as well. Just Lynchburg able to get a hand on it defensively off the thigh that time. You're going to see a quick replay here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
beautiful
definitely.
Job, Jesse Mitchell. Just kind of cheating that, playing that help side, getting a hand on it, and good things happen.
This is a team that we mentioned gives 110% on every play, and that's what's so big about having so much depth. As Mike Gray will give it to Derek Ross. Up to Jesse Mitchell. Jesse Mitchell will drive, tries to get it up. Can't get it to go. Jason Easton trying to get a touch. They're saying it got a touch of the Eagles, and another turnover for Bridgewater.
Yeah, again, you talk about giving 110% effort that time, not even across half-court line, and Easton's kind of applying that pressure. Just hard to get a handle on when you got a guy right in your face and you're trying to push the offensive tempo. I mean, Lynchburg just coming out so far and putting on a defensive masterclass.
Defense wins championships, Kevin, and that is definitely something that Coach Hillary Scott harps on. Mike Gray passes it back to Easton. Back to Gray. Up to Mitchell. Mitchell, turnaround shot. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Matt Hain. Interesting enough, was from Perth, Australia. He'll take a deep three. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by DJ Ross. We had a Bryce Demery telling me that Matt Hain is his boy, and he's a good ball player, but another a turnover for the Lynchburg Hornets. Hain back to Hutchinson. Hutchinson going up against Jesse Mitchell. Gives it to Suber. Saying slow everything down. Suber with a mid-range. Can't get it to go. Rebound by Hutchinson. Batted away by Mitchell. And we'll get a whistle. It'll be foul on Jesse Mitchell. Yeah, Matt Hain. Redshirt sophomore from Perth, Australia. Came from JMU. Somebody that we actually weren't expecting to see today, our Intel Josh Smith told me that he was dealing with a back injury, but it's good to see him out on the court.
Yeah, absolutely. A big key coming off the bench for this Eagles team and just trying to be a spark. Here as the first half comes to a close. Get your team back into it. Gain a little bit of momentum.
Jamarcus Brown gets a jump ball, and it will be Lynchburg ball.
Yeah, and again, I mean, how many times can you say it without running out of breath? Again, it's the on-ball pressure. As soon as an entry pass is made, there's 2 or 3 Hornet jerseys just surrounding it. You can turn away from one side, and then Jamarcus Brown is going to be there causing the jump ball on the other side. It's so fascinating to watch.
We'll get a timeout. We'll stay right here, and we'll go ahead and kind of talk about Coach Hillary Scott and how he's done this year. And not just this year, but in the past, you go back to 2016, ODAC champions, and he's really done a great job kind of keeping that culture in this squad. This is a team that, like we mentioned, and we'll mention it just pretty much every single game, how the effort level of this team is just outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's a really great coach as far as scheming things up and putting his guys in the right place at the right time. You look at coming out of the first media timeout, Bridgewater became more aggressive, trying to get things running. So what did he do? He matched it. New bodies coming in, fresh legs to go out and run. Second media timeout. Bridgewater switches up defensively, start running a 3-2 zone. So what does he do? He draws up plays to get the mid-range wide open. That's that weak spot of a 3-2 zone. And if it's not there, you find the low block coming from the backside, those backdoor cuts. And Lynchburg's been hitting on all cylinders so far, not only the players but the coaching as well.
Easton will inbound it to Jake Hart, up to Jesse Mitchell. Back to Hart, up to Mike Gray in the corner, quick jump shot. No go, a big rebound. Looked like Jesse Mitchell was going to come away with it, but it'll be Eagles ball.
Again, you saw a little bit of full court pressure from Bridgewater. They were going to go back to that 3-2 zone, but when Lynchburg runs so fast, it's so hard to recover from that full court pressure. That time, Mike Gray, a really good open look in the corner.
Jake Hart drawing contact, trying to get a foul on the defensive end, but can't get it to go. It'll be Smith, puts it up, rebounded by Jamarcus Brown, up to Jake Hart. They're going to play quickly. Up to Easton, he's going to drive, draw some contact, he'll get a whistle, and he'll head to the line for two. We'll get 5 substitutions for Bridgewater coming in eventually. We'll try and get all of them. It'll be Javon Jenkins checking back in. Moose Diop also coming back in. Jason Easton sets up for his first free point. We've also got Mikey's Ingram and Mason Ramey coming in for the Eagles. So a full change along with Bradley Owens. Full change for the Eagles.
Yeah, and I really don't hate that. A lot of times you see guys 1 or 2 at a time, but I like, the full slew of substitutions, especially when you got a team like Lynchburg who's just a run-and-gun team, because your guys, they're going to be fresh for a couple possessions, but then it's time to switch it up, kind of show them a new face, maybe try to break that momentum a little bit with 5 fresh faces.
Easton knocking down his second free throw, and it'll be Ingram taking it up the court. He'll pass to Diop, up to Jenkins. Jenkins going around a couple defenders. Passes it back to Diop. Up to Ramey. Up against Jamarcus Brown. He's going to go up. Little fake step. Blocked by Jamarcus Brown. Oh, my goodness. The defense on this young man is impeccable. Up to Mike Gray. Mike Gray with a quick jump shot. Can't get it to go. And it'll be a little mishap from the Eagles, and it'll be Lynchburg ball.
Yeah, 4 guys down there fighting for the rebound on the same team, and that's what happens. A lot of times those elementary plays where you scream same team, you got 4 guys. There wasn't a Lynchburg jersey on that side of half court. It's just one of those undisciplined turnovers that you can't have trailing by 21.
We'll have our third media timeout of the ball game. We'll be right back in just a moment on LHSN. And we welcome you back on the block from Jamarcus Brown. You get a couple angles of it. The defensive presence is definitely there. Jake Hart will give it up to none other than Jamarcus Brown. Back to Hart. Up to Easton. Takes a deep 3. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Mitchell. Passes it back out to Pearson Young. Back to Mitchell. Back to Young. To Hart. Lynchburg trying to slow things down a little bit, but play quick at the same time. He'll pass it out to Easton in the corner. He'll drive up to Mitchell. Back to Hart. Hart driving up now. Euro step. Beautiful play from Jake Hart.
Talk about the man's defense ability all the time, but showing off. Little sweet feet that time. Euro step from the free throw line. Gets him wide open at the cup.
Jake Hart, the junior from North Carolina, with a beautiful play. It'll be Diop with the 3, gets it to go. 34-14 in favor of the Hornets, so you've got some work to do if you are the Eagles, but you've got plenty of time to do it. You've got 6.5 minutes in the first and a whole second quarter. Jesse Mitchell in the corner. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Ingram.
Yeah, I like what you said there. Obviously, there's not a 20-point bucket to find, but if you can chip away at this lead and gain a little bit of momentum going into the break, you never know what can happen in the second half. Still got a long ways to go in this one.
That one won't go for Ramey. It'll be Pearson Young driving it up the court. He'll pull up for a 3. Can't get it to go, but he draws the whistle, and he'll get 3 shots at the free stripe.
I just really credit so far this lead of Lynchburg to their defensive energy. I mean, you look at what they're doing in the defensive end, and it's so special to see. You rarely see a team do it. They're playing what we kind of call like a man press. They're not full court pressing, but as soon as the ball crosses half court, they're denying every pass, on-ball pressures at a premium, and you see the entry passes down low. They're getting cut off. They're getting fingers on it, creating turnovers, and in turn that leads to those kind of wide-open buckets. And you see Pearson Young at the stripe. Obviously, you didn't knock the 3 down, but you get a free trip on a transition opportunity.
It's a little help from the rim on that first free throw. You got 2 more. Second one goes again in favor of the rim. We'll get a couple players checking in. It'll be Malik Richardson and Kyron Smith for the Eagles. Lynchburg will stay with the same 5. We'll have Bugs go to the scores table ready to check in. He will check in for Jesse Mitchell. And going back to what you were talking about, how this is such a fast-paced team on defense, I mean, it helps when you have so much speed where you've got the veteran defender Pearson Young, again, multi-time defensive player of the week, and then you've got both the Ross brothers are super quick, and then Jamarcus Brown on the inner. It'll be Jenkins, pass to Richardson. He's going to drive on Bugs, trips up a little bit, draws the contact, and he'll get 2 free throws. Not free throws, but he does draw the contact, so the Eagles will retain the ball.
I didn't tell you, Malik Richardson, he's a fun guy to watch. I mean, he's listed at 6'5", 270, but I'm telling you, he has the speed of a guard, and his ball handling is off the charts. We've seen him, try a couple of 3s so far, but I mean, his ability to get north to south as a 270-pound big man is incredible to watch.
Yeah, and we'll get a timeout by the Bridgewater Eagles. We'll stay right here. We got a pretty packed house tonight, Kevin. Classes just ended. You had the last day yesterday. We've had some snow yesterday morning and we did get a ton of it. So it's interesting because, you think about it, yesterday was the last day of classes. We didn't even have class yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the perfect time to be a basketball fan, right? It's cold outside. You mentioned the snow on the ground. Classes just ended. The only thing you got now is exam prep, but it's a Saturday in the Hill City. You can come into a warm environment and watch your team, just show out so far for the first 14 minutes of this game.
Well, I'm happy that the winter sports are all indoors because if you are an avid listener of LHSN, you'll know that I can't stand the cold weather. So I'm very happy that it is all indoors throughout the winter season. And I'm happy that our men's and women's basketball team, they're finding success early on in this season. It'll be Jenkins driving up, finds a pass. Bridgewater will put it up. A 3 for Bradley Owens. Beautiful shot. Cuts the lead down. You start to chip away. You mentioned it, Kevin, with Jamarcus Brown driving. Tries to get it, can't. It'll be Richardson on the rebound. A foul, a whistle will be called. So it was Bradley Owens on the 3. Richardson getting the rebound for the Eagles. And these are moments that you have to take advantage of. You just knock down a 3, and you get Lynchburg to cause a turnover.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of get back-to-back fouls, one on the defensive end, one on the offensive end. This is where, if you're Bridgewater, you kind of feel that momentum tipping in your favor. You knock down a big 3, and you slow them down offensively. How do you build on that?
Owens back to Jenkins, covered by Pearson Young. It'll be Jenkins, puts it up, gets it to go. 36-20, thanks to Javon Jenkins. It'll be Jamarcus Brown now for Lynchburg. Up to Jay Carr. Jay Carr trying to slow things down. Pearson Young is actually the leading scorer for the Hornets. It'll be Bugs, tipped away, but gets it to Pearson. Bugs with a mid-range jumper. Can't get it to go. It'll be rebounded by Jenkins. They're going to play quick. They're going to head up the court. Jenkins to Smith. Smith driving. Pearson Young on him. Can't draw the contact, but gets it to go. Beautiful layup from Kyron Smith. Pearson Young taking it quick now. Finds Jason Easton in the corner. Hits the front of the rim. Rebounded by Bugs. Gets a whistle. And it'll be Lynchburg ball still.
Yeah, I like what Bridgewater's doing. You saw him try to get out and run, but we saw that not, have success in the early goings of the first half. It's the pressure. They kind of slowed it down and kind of made that pressure non-existent. Able to get a quick bucket, 8-0 run for the Eagles. Now if you're Bugs, you're just trying to slow things down, get a point on the board for the Hornets, and try to recapture that hometown momentum.
Bugs will knock down the first free throw, so he will be granted a second. We'll get a replay of the great job, a great layup by Kyron Smith. Bugs with his second free throw. Same Lynchburg 5. We got 4 minutes and 41 seconds. Bugs gets the second to go. (38-22). Long pass to Owens. Up to Ingram. Ingram passes it to Richardson. Richardson with a nice spin move. Puts it up. Mid-range jumper is good. So a 10-2 run for the Eagles as Jake Hart brings it up the court.
And that's what you talk about for Richardson. Again, you see kind of the physicality, a bigger body, but the quickness to turn and shoot.
Bugs a three. Can't get it to go. Three-point shooting has fallen off a little bit for the Hornets these last couple minutes. And if you're the Eagles, you're saying, go ahead, keep shooting it. If you're going to keep missing it, we're going to put those open shots on you. Jenkins with a nice move. Up to Ingram. Ingram with a wide open three. Gets it to go.
Yeah, beautiful job offensively. Jenkins cutting inside, making that pressure collapse. And that's what we talk about, interior pressure. Three bodies stopping Jenkins. Leaves somebody wide open, and on the far side, a big-time three. Now you're on a 13-2 run. And this is that momentum we talk about. An 11-point game for the Eagles is a lot more manageable with 3 minutes left in the first half than an above 20 that we were just facing a couple of minutes ago.
And a good veteran play from Jason Easton as we'll get another media timeout. A veteran play from Easton as, like you mentioned, when Bugs was taking his free throws, just trying to slow things down. And you get 2 free throws right before the media timeout. We will be back in just a moment on FloSports and LHSN. And we welcome you back onto Wayne Profit Court. Same 5 for both these squads. It'll be Jason Easton at the free throw line. Knocks his first one down. 39-27 in favor of Lynchburg. They were really off to a hot start, but Bridgewater, they're bringing it back these last couple minutes as Easton knocks down the second. Ingram bringing up the court. Jake Hart trying to play some press. Jenkins back to Ingram. Up to Richardson, wide open. Jamarcus Brown can't get a hand on it. Richardson, another great play. Jake Hart, bring it up. They're playing quick now.
And I think if you're Lynchburg, 3 minutes left, you start to go back to what was working at the start of this game. Feed 35.
Jason Easton in the corner for 3. Can't get it to go. It'll be rebounded by Kyron Smith. He'll bring it up quickly for Bridgewater, driving up against Jamarcus Brown. Passes it out to Jenkins. Jenkins leaves it for Smith. Smith for a three. Won't go. Rebounded by Pearson Young. A lot of contact, and a whistle will be blown. A lot of physicality. So it will be a foul on Mikey's Ingram. 40-29 with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. And Pearson Young will head to the line with the double bonus.
Yeah, and I don't hate that play, especially for Lynchburg. I mean, you look at physicality. Obviously, you're getting the whistle there, but offensively, not really had a lot going. No three-pointers falling. You haven't been able to get those entry passes. So, you draw some contact and send one of your best free throw shooters to the line to hopefully get some points on the board. And there's that commentator's curse.
This is the first one, but you're on the double bonus, so you get a second as we see the contact from both Young and Ingram. Pearson Young, second free throw. Won't go. Jesse Mitchell with a rebound. He'll pass it out to Hart. Pearson from deep. Can't get it to go. Mitchell again with a tip. Gets it to Jake Hart in the corner. And we'll get a whistle. So we'll get a stoppage in play with 2 minutes and 41 seconds left. Lynchburg ball still. Hart will inbound it to Easton. Easton to Pearson Young. Back to Hart. Hart driving in, and it gets tipped out. He saw a wide open Jason Easton in the corner, but a great defensive play from the Eagles.
Absolutely. That's what you have to do. Whenever you apply that pressure, obviously, you got two guys guarding the ball, so somebody's going to be wide open. Hart's going to try to make that pass, but as a defender, that's your job. You're kind of outnumbered over in the corner, so you got to get a tip on that ball and not allow Easton an open look.
Hart looking for Easton. Easton lays it up and in. Easton is asking for a foul, but if you're the Hornets, you're just taking those 2 points because it's really been all Bridgewater the last couple minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, and a beautiful box set from Lynchburg on that inbound led to those 2 points from Easton. And Lynchburg, again, you see the intensity, forcing not the highest quality of shots from the Eagle offense and creating another chance for your offense. This is where, what we talk about, obviously you're holding a 13-point lead, but, Bridgewater has tipped that momentum. They cut the lead down 10. So now this is where you got to build it back. Get some momentum going into the half. Obviously, it's a huge key. Momentum plays such a factor in a game like this.
Easton, a deep three. Gets it to go. Jason Easton. Beautiful shot from the veteran. Jenkins for Bridgewater. Covered by Jake Hart. It'll be Smith up to Hutchinson. Hutchinson loses the ball. He's telling Jenkins, come get it. Jamarcus Brown on the floor. Jake Hart trying to cover. Layup won't go for Jenkins. Rebounded by Hutchinson. Draws some contact. It'll be foul on Pearson Young. And Hutchinson will head to the line for two. We'll have four of the Bridgewater players heading to the sideline, talking it up with head coach Mike Maxo, his second season as the Eagles head coach, as Hutchinson misses the first free throw. We'll get a replay of the contact. You see it at the end. And the thing about Bridgewater, and I think what they've done so well in this first half, is it's easy to draw contact against such an aggressive Lynchburg defense.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what teams have had success against Lynchburg doing. Obviously, the pressure in the first few minutes of the game is tough to overcome, but once you start drawing those fouls and get that contact, you get guys into foul trouble, you get in the bonus, and that makes things a lot easier. That's how you break that pressure, is to keep going at it, keep initiating the contact. Eventually, at the later stages of the game, it'll be in your favor.
Jake Hart with a teardrop. We saw him practicing that pretty much all week. Every time we were in the gym, you got to think that's something he's trying to make his specialty. A beautiful shot from Jake Hart. Jameer Brown covered by Hart. He'll give it up to Jenkins. Minute and some change left. Jenkins will drive, passes it out into the corner. It'll be Palmer up to Hutchinson. Hutchinson to Smith. Jamarcus Brown all over him. And it'll be a Lynchburg ball, a turnover for the Eagles.
Yeah, illegal screen called there, and that one was easy. Never got set. Trying to screen Jamarcus Brown is no easy task. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a benefit of a doubt. I know what he was trying to do there. Jamarcus Brown's so big, so physical, but he's also so fast. He can break through those screens. And you kind of see that call there, trying to just slow him up a little bit. You get the whistle, and you're Lynchburg. That's what you got to continue to do. Force those offensive mistakes for the Eagles and make them pay on your offensive end.
Jamarcus Brown, All-American high jumper for Lynchburg track and field. Oh, just hits the top of the knee. A bounce pass from Jesse Mitchell, and Jamarcus was wide open underneath the paint.
Yeah, and showing a little bit of frustration, and as a big man, I absolutely get it. You're wide open in the paint. Just hit me in the chest. No need to bounce pass.
Jason Easton, a good pass from Jesse Mitchell. Tries to draw contact, but can't get it. But layup, you put that lead back up to 20 with just under 20 seconds left to go in the first half. A beautiful response from Lynchburg these last couple minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 minutes to go. It was only a 13-point game. You felt like Bridgewater had the momentum going into the locker room, and Lynchburg said, no, not so fast.
Jameer Brown covered by Jamarcus, and it looks like every Lynchburg Hornet can't get it to go. Pearson Young just chucks it up, a hope and a dream, but no go. End of the first half, Lynchburg with a commanding 20-point lead, 49-29. And it was a ton of different scores, but Jason Easton leads it with 16, 2 for 5 from behind the arc, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about him being a three-point shooter, but those backdoor cuts, flashy, fighting through contact at the rim, that's what made him such a special player in the first half. Wouldn't be surprised to see him keep it going in the second half.
When you're hot, you're hot. You got to keep it going for Jason Easton. We'll be back just shortly. A great first half for the Lynchburg Hornets. Bridgewater has got some work to do. We'll be right back on LHSN. we welcome you back to halftime in Turner Gymnasium. Ethan Morotsky joined by Kevin Nestor. A great first half for the Hornets, 49-29 against the Bridgewater Eagles. We didn't see too many highlight plays, but it really was dominant for Lynchburg, and it's headlined by Jason Easton. 16 points, 2 for 5 from behind the arc, 4 for 7 for field goals. He has really, really stood out on this Lynchburg squad today.
Yeah, absolutely, and no highlight reel plays, but if you ask Coach Scott, that's exactly what he wants to see, right? The fundamental basketball, and Lynchburg did a really good job of showing that off. I mean, really, they showed out defensively. Offensively, they were running their sets, getting open shooters, shooting 45% from the field, doing a lot of things great. Really, if you want to kind of pinpoint one thing that was kind of slacking, it was that 27% from the three-point arc. But, you can really kind of visualize where that was in the first half. It was, kind of that 5-minute range left in the mark when Bridgewater kind of got on their run and Lynchburg hit that offensive spell, but they broke out of it right before the half, extended the lead back out to 20 points, and now, they kind of are in a spot where they kind of control the game with their energy and their intensity. And if you're Bridgewater, you got to come out and you got to try to chip away.
And with that being said, we'll go ahead and take a look at the halftime stats. Again, Lynchburg up 49-29. Like you mentioned, the three-point percentage really is lacking for this Lynchburg squad, just sitting at 27.8, and I think a lot of that has to do with how well Bridgewater was doing really in that spell where they went on that 10-2 run. They did a great job forcing Lynchburg to take shots behind the arc, and it really allowed them to start to trickle back into the ball game, but a really great ending in the last couple minutes of that first half for Lynchburg.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Bridgewater, I think what kind of hurt them a little bit was paint presence, both offensively and defensively. You see the rebound number there on your screen, getting out rebounded 23-16. But also the field goal percentage is a little bit lower. Obviously the three-point percentage at 35, that's a good mark to hit, but 35% from the field, a lot of that just comes from misses inside. Now whether it be rejections by Young or Brown or any else of the Hornets who got those blocks inside, it's really just those contests and the inside pressure that Lynchburg's applying that's keeping that field goal percentage at such a low number for Bridgewater. I think in the second half you kind of look to run more sets, get yourself more open looks closer to the basket.
And you look at the turnovers, 9-4. Bridgewater really struggling keeping the ball in their hands. I think if you clean that up and you up the field goal percentage, obviously if you're making more shots, you got a good chance of winning the ball game. Easier said than done, but a lot of work for the Eagles in this second half. We expect that it's going to be a close game. This is ODAC men's basketball. This is one of the toughest conferences in every single sport. And when you look at men's basketball, you've got a top 5 team, Randolph-Macon, right up there on the leaderboard. They're not even in first place. They're in second, but obviously it's early. But this is a really tough conference to play in. And if you can squeeze away with a victory early on, if you're Bridgewater, if you can make a big comeback in this second half, squeak out a second win, that's huge, not just for the standings, but it says a lot about your program.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at a top-heavy ODAC in men's basketball, 4 teams in the top 14 in the country. It's absolutely ridiculous kind of the level that the ODAC is at. But for Bridgewater in this game, I think when you look at kind of the stat that stands out is points off of turnovers. We talked about Lynchburg. They like to cause chaos with their defensive pressure, which leads to offensive end. Lynchburg has 9 points off a turnover. So, I mean, obviously you play the what-if game. You take those away. It's an 11-point game. You knock down a couple more shots, and it's just a few possessions. So I think that's the key to getting back into this game. If you stop the turnovers and you stop Lynchburg's free chances on the other end, really you're doing a lot of things well. Obviously a 20-point deficit doesn't look like it, but just taking care of the ball is the first step of a comeback here in the second half.
And something to highlight what Lynchburg is doing really well this ball game. We mentioned it earlier how they were struggling in this stat column last year and sort of in the beginning of this season, the free throws. They're 12 for 16 at the stripe. Bridgewater just 2 for 4. That is so huge, not only because you're making 12 of your 16 free throws, but you're keeping Bridgewater off of the line, and that is so huge for a defense, especially going into a second half where you've got 20 minutes to play your best ball game and not let Bridgewater trickle back into it. We saw at about the 8-minute mark, Bridgewater went on a huge run where they started to come back, but Lynchburg really locked in on the end. But second half of basketball ready to start up, 49-29 in favor of the Hornets. It'll be Jamarcus Brown, Jason Easton, Jesse Mitchell, Pearson Young, and Jake Hart. In for the Hornets, it'll be Ingram, Jenkins, Diop, Owens, and Ramey. Same starting lineups at the start of the first half, and it'll be Bridgewater starting off with the ball.
Yeah, I like what you said about free throws. Had a good joke with our buddy Eli down at the scorers table when we went and got halftime stats, and he said, hey, we're shooting 75% from the line this game. And I just pointed at the scoreboard and said, yeah, that's what happens when you knock down your free throws.
We'll get a lot of contact, a foul on Ingram. Good play by Jake Hart, and it'll be Lynchburg ball. So another turnover for Bridgewater, make that 10. And again, we mentioned that a key to the success for the Eagles is going to be to limit the turnovers and up your good shots in the paint. And not really doing a great job starting this off. Jamarcus Brown trying to drive, finding an outlet. He's got Jesse Mitchell. Jake Hart wide open for three. Misses everything. Rebounded by Pearson Young. Jake Hart will just say that was a pass to Pearson.
Yeah, that's absolutely hilarious. You don't see Jake Hart take many of those, but the best part about it is, like you said, over on the bench, Eli Thomas jumps out of his chair and immediately screams at Jake Hart. Great pass.
It'll be Ramey, pass to Jenkins. Jenkins, great play by Jesse Mitchell. He had a wide open Diop in the corner. A great job by Jesse Mitchell. Now he'll take a wide open three. He'll miss everything. And we'll get some contact underneath the rim. It'll be Bridgewater ball. Another similar play where you completely miss everything, but it looked like that was going right to Jason Easton.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about, the 25% shooting in the first half from three-point range, or 27, pardon me. You come out and you try to get out of that slump and you throw two air balls up. Maybe not quite the looks they were having, but Easton looking to change the luck around.
Easton getting Owens to jump for joy. A little side step and a huge three for Lynchburg. They're starting off this second half exactly like they started the entire ballgame up. We'll get 5 players at the substitutions part of the sideline. It'll be Jenkins passing it up to Ramey. Back to Jenkins. Jenkins with a three of his own. Gets it to go. Jenkins cutting the lead down, 54-32.
Yeah, like you said, less than 90 seconds into the second half, and the Bridgewater sideline not liking what they've seen. A slew of substitutions, 5 fresh faces ready to come in.
Pearson Young's step back won't go. It'll be rebounded by Ingram. He'll take it up the court. Pass to Jenkins. Wide open. Diop in the corner. Rebounded by Jamarcus Brown. We'll get a whistle. And it'll be Lynchburg ball. Another wide open look for the Eagles that they just can't seem to drain. It's tough, so we'll get a full 5-court substitution. It'll be Carter Palmer, Chris Suber, Matt Hain, the Australian man, and let's see, trying to find the numbers. It's tough to see up here with my eyesight. And Jameer Brown will check in. Jesse Mitchell inbounds it to Jake Hart. Jake Hart's just such a workhorse on this team. You almost want him to have the ball going up the court. Jesse Mitchell from the top of the key. Gets it to go. Jesse Mitchell.
Yeah, and right on cue. That's exactly why you want Jake Hart to have the ball. Good things happen whenever he brings the ball up. You give your offense a chance to set up, run a quick little action with Jesse Mitchell. Same action we saw in the first half. Little pick and pop, and Jesse Mitchell, again, leaving that open, he makes you pay.
Denard Hutchinson gives it to Suber. We'll get a whistle. It'll be Lynchburg basketball. Another turnover for the Eagles. Really struggling in that department all ball game. We mentioned that you need to clean up those mental errors. They're not doing a great job to start this second half.
Yeah, that one was easy to call. Hutchinson started setting a screen at the elbow of the free throw line and didn't release the screen until he got to the low block. So an easy moving screen. But how about Jake Hart? Quick first step, easy getting to the bucket. Nobody meets him at the rim, and the lefty laying it in with the right.
Jake Hart, we mentioned he was a workhorse just a minute ago. And you're seeing it right there. It'll be Suber passing it out to Hain. Hain misses everything. So we've seen 3 air balls to start this second half. 2 from Lynchburg, 1 from Bridgewater. something that I feel like that's got to be rare.
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe the rims changed, regulation height at halftime or something. Obviously, it's not the shooting ability.
Nice pass from Jamarcus Brown. Jesse Mitchell can't get the layup. It'll be rebounded by Hain. He'll give it up to Brown. Jameer Brown, our player to watch. Somebody who really he struggled to make an impact, but he goes up there, gets the and one to go, and he's got a chance for a three-point play.
Yeah, that's what makes him so crafty again. It wasn't his three-point shooting that stood out. Whenever you talk about a player to watch, he's so good at getting north to south and making plays happen behind the defense's back. That time, a quick cut on the backside, able to finish at the rim through the contact. I'm going to tell you, I really like what Bridgewater does in between free throws. They bring the other four guys over to the coach and have a meeting. I mean, really, it's like a 30-second timeout you get to have. It really is. I think more coaches should take advantage of it.
Pearson Young, long pass. Jason Easton gets rejected by Hutchinson. Now here come Bridgewater. Suber tries to lay it up and in. Pearson Young knocks it off the backboard. It's rebounded by Brown. Jason Easton's now got it. Jake Hart back to Easton. Deep three. Looked like it got a little contact from Brown. That's what the Lynchburg bench is saying. So a decent look for Easton, but an even better play from Jameer Brown. Still Lynchburg ball.
Yeah, it's just one of those deals. You don't call the foul, so you got to call the deflection. So regardless, the ball is going to stay with Lynchburg's end. Beautiful pass from Jamarcus Brown, finding a cutting Mitchell.
Mitchell draws the contact. Sorry, Kevin, go ahead.
No, just a really good job. Top of the key, Mitchell. We talked about him burning, that Bridgewater defense with a couple of those pick and pops on three-pointers that time, kind of catching him falling asleep, lulling him to sleep on the three-point line. A quick cut. Jamarcus Brown with a flashy pass hits his man, who draws the contact and gets a trip to the line.
Jesse Mitchell, transfer from Central Carolina Community College, gets the first free throw in. The 6'4" junior. We see a replay of it. A nice play from Carter Palmer, but the contact will put him at the line. Second free throw gets a little help from the rebound. 61-35. Hornets really fading away this ball game. They're up by almost 30. Is exactly what you want to see if you're Coach Hillary Scott and company. That one was tipped by Hart, but Hutchinson finds the end of it. Going up against Jamarcus Brown, a lot of physical contact. It's in and out, just rolled out of the rim. Pearson Young will take it up quick for the Hornets. Errant pass, it'll be intercepted by Jameer Brown. He'll take it quick. Jake Hart, a foul. And Jameer Brown will get a whistle.
And Jamarcus Brown is frustrated. A lot of times you hear the phrase board man gets paid on the defensive end, standing tall, allowing absolutely nothing by him. And on the other end, streaking wide open to the basket. That was our chance for a highlight play. Pearson Young just missed him cutting to the basket.
We'll take our 16-minute media timeout. We'll be back in just a moment on LHSN and FloSports. And we welcome you back to Wayne Prophet Court. We'll get a look at the contact at the end right before the timeout. That sends Jameer Brown to the line. 61-35 in favor of Lynchburg. Really has just been domination almost, I would say, probably 80% of the ball game, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. The one kind of 20% you talk about was that first half flurry Bridgewater put together, and they were playing some really good basketball kind of for that 4 to 5 minute stretch. And ever since then, Lynchburg just kind of locked in on the defensive end, allowing nothing easy, and then offensively running some sets, creating some space for their shooters to knock down open shots and respond to that challenge.
Mike Gray will check into the game. A long pass from Hart to Jesse Mitchell. They're just going to slow things down. I'll give it to Easton. Back to Mike Gray. It's good to see Mike Gray back on the court. Obviously limited minutes because of an injury. Jamarcus Brown, a little jumper. Won't get it to go. Rebounded by Suber. Up to Brown. Covered by Mike Gray. Payne calling for it, but Brown keeps it. And some contact from Mike Gray. We'll get a whistle. And it'll be Bridgewater with an inbounder. Yeah, good to see Mike Gray getting some more minutes. Obviously, he had the injury at the beginning of the season, which limits your playing time, but a great job from Hilliard Scott, obviously, to not give him 100% right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of work that load management role a little bit, get him acclimated back. It's so tough to kind of pick up where you're at, and he draws a second personal in a matter of 10 seconds. Obviously not what Hilliard was looking for there, but obviously Mike Gray is he's a big pivotal player. We see whenever he's 100% healthy, what he can contribute to this team. We saw that in that tournament run last year from this Hornets squad. And as he gets healthier, I think we'll start to see Mike Gray come back to true form.
We'll have DJ Ross check in for the Hornets. What a play by Jameer Brown. Can't go unnoticed. He's got a chance for a three-pointer. 61-39, Lynchburg. Jameer Brown gets to go. 61-40 now. Jake Hart will inbound it. A lot of full-court pressure from Hornets. Jameer Brown takes it away. Good turnover. And can't get it to go. Mike Gray at the defensive board. He'll give it to DJ Ross. I got to say, DJ Ross, we haven't seen him much today, but the amount of minutes he gets, he's going to give you a lot of production.
Yeah, absolutely. And in this role, when you see Bridgewater come out in that full-court press, I absolutely love Coach Scott putting him in. He's got the speed and the ball handling skills to break that press and create some looks on the offensive end. Once you break that press, you see there an entry pass to Jamarcus Brown. Was there for a second, and defenders having to foul Jamarcus, kind of slow a possession down.
He's a nifty little scorer, too. Kevin, what would your NBA comparison be for DJ Ross?
That's so tough. Really, I think it would be SGA without the free throw merchant aspect, because they can get downhill and just create shots from really nothing. You could throw Luka in there, but I think DJ's light faster than Luka.
DJ Ross will inbound it to Mike Gray. Gray to Hart. Back to DJ. I mean, he's all over the court. You blink and you'll miss him. That one, the pass is rejected. Great job. Looked like Carter Palmer on the end of that. It'll still be Lynchburg ball, but you're disrupting even a little bit of momentum, and now you're just down to 12 seconds on the shot clock. Pass it up to Mitchell. Mitchell to Hart. Back to DJ Ross. Ross to Mitchell. Mitchell fake, driving in, and it'll be a charge and a foul on Jesse Mitchell. Bridgewater ball. We'll get a look at it. A lot of contact underneath the rim. A lot of work to do if you're Bridgewater. Still down by 21, but again, you've got plenty of time. You've got 14 and just under 14 and a half minutes, but you got to start it now. You imagine a 20-point deficit is hard to come back from. Kyron Smith, he drives to the paint. Mike Gray on the defense. A little bit of contact from Mitchell, and Smith will head to the line.
Yeah, a lot of physicality, a lot of whistles here in the second half. Both teams already up to 16 fouls in this half. That's something to keep an eye on. Obviously, 20-point game right now, but if this thing starts to get closer, those whistles and that physicality plays a big role in the outcome of a game.
Eli Thomas will check in for Jesse Mitchell. Mitchell's had a great game, 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Really has stepped up these last couple ball games. Kyron Smith knocks his second free throw down. More full court press. DJ Ross just evading 2 defenders. And Bridgewater still keeping up the press. Jamarcus Brown finds Eli Thomas wide open. Back to DJ Ross, a 3. Bang! DJ Ross, wide open 3.
I'm going to tell you, man, that kid is special. He doesn't miss many looks. I mean, he is just an absolute flamethrower. And his ability, like you said, to evade 2 defenders on the press. He was trapped in a corner and comes out of it and then gets rewarded on the other end of the floor with an open 3.
You blink and you will lose him on the court. It seems like he's everywhere. A mid-range shot from Smith. Very contested. Great shot from Kyron Smith. Eli Thomas will bring it up the court. He'll give it back to DJ Ross. We mentioned before the broadcast, when they're doing their warm-ups, you mentioned that you didn't see DJ miss a single shot.
No, and I just wanted to check that because he just knocked that 3 down. How about this? 63% from the field, 67% from three-point range this season from DJ.
Jamarcus Brown will be rejected by Palmer. Bridgewater bringing it up the court. Kyron Smith driving. Mike Gray on the defense. A layup and in. Kyron Smith has really done a great job these last couple minutes. 64-46. And going back to DJ Ross, I mean, to have that good of a shooter on your bench as a freshman, really doing a great job in implementing himself in the league. Jamarcus Brown with the 3, gets it to go. Jamarcus Brown, deep 3 for the sophomore. And we'll get a timeout. We'll keep it here. Let's talk more about DJ Ross and his brother.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if that connection that we just saw right here develops over the next 2 or 3 years, that's going to be an absolute dangerous duo. The freshman guard DJ, Jamarcus Brown, those two, they have been a lot of fun to watch just in the 8-game sample size that we've gotten to see so far. But they are absolutely incredible. And DJ, like you said, I kind of told you before the game, joking around, see her 30 minutes before the game and didn't see him miss a shot in warm-ups. And I just wanted to check those numbers because he knocked down that open 3, and that is absolutely absurd. 12 and 19 so far from the field, obviously going up in this game, and 67% from three-point range. I mean, the kid's special, and that's not even kind of throwing in his passing ability, his quickness to break defenders, get out of a full-court press. And it's a big addition for this team, and really I think it comes from, like you said, his older brother DeAndre. He took a year off last year, comes back, really helped in recruiting DJ to come to Lynchburg, and those two have been absolutely fantastic off the bench for the Hornets. I mean, those are just absolutely underrated additions, and I mean, guys I really think could make all ODAC conversations if they played more minutes. But obviously, coming off of a bench of a very talented squad, I mean, it's impressive.
You mentioned the passing for DJ Ross. He's actually leading the team in assists, 3.9, I believe. I mean, to have somebody who's shooting that well on the floor, but is so pass-first mentality, an amazing teammate, amazing role player as of right now. Like you said, if that connection with Jamarcus Brown, it's just going to get better and better every single minute that they play. Not even just game, but every minute that they play together, it's just going to get better. And it's something that the Lynchburg fans and Coach Hillary Scott and company can be so excited for the future. It'll be Chris Suber bringing it up the court for the Eagles, covered by DJ. Trying to find an outlet. Mike Gray covering Kyron Smith. The takeaway. Nice steal from Mike Gray. Lays it up. Tries to get a reverse. Jamarcus Brown with a putback layup. There he is. Jamarcus Brown, the human highlight reel. It'll be a wide open Smith. He'll take it up the paint. 3 Hornet defenders around him. We mentioned before that timeout, Kyron Smith has really stepped up the last couple of minutes, and the athleticism is showing right there.
Yeah, absolutely. All offense for this half, for Bridgewater has come through Smith, and you see it there, passing up the 3, getting through 3 defenders, just an absolute acrobatic finish, fighting at the rim, knocking down a 2, and he's really picked up his intensity. He wants to win this game, and he's trying to will his team back into it.
10 points for Kyron Smith, 3 rebounds, no assists. We'll have another media timeout at the 12-minute mark. We'll be right back on LHSN. And we welcome you back to Turner Gymnasium. Ethan Morotsky with Kevin Nestor. Kevin, this has been a really fun game if you're Lynchburg, but if you're Bridgewater, what really has to change not only in these last 12 minutes, but going on to your next couple games?
I think it's just defensive energy. You're allowing Lynchburg to kind of get everything they want on the offensive end. You know, offensively, Bridgewater's picked it up in the second half. They've kind of cleaned up some of the turnovers. Obviously, that's still a big factor in this game. But offensively, you know, you're feeding your hot hands. You're really going score for score with Lynchburg. And at this stage in the game, less than 12 minutes to go, you're down 20. You can't afford to do that.
Great full court press from Bridgewater. It finally works out. And it'll be a Lynchburg turnover. Eagles will gain possession. Really, that's the aggressiveness on that defensive end, really, that you have on Lynchburg's end when they're driving up the court, but you need more of that on your own end. As DJ Ross falls over, it'll be Smith, mid-range, puts it up, gets it to go right over Mike Gray. Kyron Smith, 12 points in this ball game. More full court press. They find Mike Gray. Mike Gray to Jamarcus Brown. Knocks his defender over, and he'll get a whistle. And Jamarcus Brown will head to the free throw line. There's 2-on-1 on that fast break. We'll get another look. Yeah, definitely earned that whistle. Jamarcus Brown will head to the line.
We're going to show the replay there. I'm going to go to the defense of DJ. DJ did not get broke. DJ got tripped on a screen. That's going to go on somebody's huddle account. It's going to be on a highlight reel. DJ did not get broke. On the other end, how about Lincoln Jackson's acting efforts? Trying to sell a charge. Jamarcus Brown stepped right around him.
It's tough. I mean, Jamarcus Brown, he's not the smallest guy out there. And, you know, full speed, Jamarcus Brown is like Giannis going full speed towards the net. Nobody wants to be in the way of that, but kudos to him. Pass to Lincoln Jackson. He'll give it up to Carter Palmer. Palmer back to Jackson. Right over Jamarcus Brown. A tough play, but a good one. And DJ Ross will bring it up the court. Ooh, tried to find Mike Gray. Mike Gray looked like he was running towards the net and then just kind of pulled up a little bit, maybe tried to post up at the corner. So the vision was there for DJ Ross, just Mike Gray kind of pulled up a little bit.
Yeah, and I do like Lynchburg's kind of aggressiveness to break that press. Obviously, they got the 10-second violation a couple possessions ago, but DJ, that time, you get the ball in his hands and let him go downhill. I mean, he breaks it in a matter of seconds, and that time, what looked like it was going to be an easy play to a streaking Mike Gray to the basket. Just a little bit of miscommunication, Gray going to the corner, but I think the press breaks there. You just got to keep it up if you're Lynchburg. Keep trying to break it. And if you're Bridgewater, keep throwing it at them. You know, you've caused some chaos, a turnover there, the 10-second violation. If it ain't broke, don't.
Kevin, you got to make the other team uncomfortable. And if you go back to that 10-2 run that Bridgewater had in the middle half of that first half of this ball game, Bridgewater was doing a really great job forcing Lynchburg into uncomfortable shots, and that's something that they haven't done so far in this second half.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the only issue if you come out with a press. You know, obviously you've created a couple of turnovers, but if DJ or any other of the guards are able to break it kind of in a hurry, well, then your back's up against the wall because you got numbers. You saw that with the Jamarcus and Eli Thomas possession where they broke the press and you had 2-on-1, and you got a free trip to the line. So that's kind of that flip side of that coin if you come out in a press.
Suber covered by Ross. Still covered by Ross. Double covered with Hart helping. He'll pass it off to Smith. Smith, step back. Can't get it to go. Eli Thomas will get the board. Jamarcus will give it up to DJ Ross. Back to Jamarcus. He's got some speed. Better watch out. Can't get the contact or the whistle. A great play from Lincoln Jackson, and now Bridgewater's off to the races. They'll look for an open Palmer. Gets it to go in the corner. Carter Palmer, great plays on the defensive and offensive end for Bridgewater. DJ Ross just trying to slow things down a little bit.
You got a mismatch on him here. Wouldn't be surprised to see DJ kind of call everybody off and go to an ISO look, get downhill. Screen comes from Jamarcus. Now a double team trap on the near side.
Mike Gray in the corner up to Jamarcus Brown. He's trying to make a play, draws some contact. And it'll be a whistle on Jamarcus Brown. We'll see if we can get another look at that. Excuse me, it won't be on Jamarcus Brown. He'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, and if you're Suber there, I mean, that's about all you can do down there, you know. Listed at 5'11", going up against Jamarcus Brown. You got to try to draw something.
Definitely one of the toughest things to do in Turner Gymnasium is cover Jamarcus Brown, as we'll have Pearson Young and Jason Easton check in for Mike Gray and Jake Hart. So Jamarcus Brown at the line. He's going for his 12th and 13th point. Points plural, excuse me. And he'll get the first one, 72-55. It just seems that every time Bridgewater makes a play and starts to get some momentum, Lynchburg is right back at it and just shuts the door.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple times. You know, they get it down to 13, 14, 15 points, and then all of a sudden, you know, Lynchburg goes back to the well, go to what's working, drive to the cup, get to the line. And they're really working kind of just to control that lead, and it's perfectly executed so far.
Jamarcus Brown will head to the sidelines. Jesse Mitchell will head into the game for him. Suber covered by DJ Ross. He's on him like a hawk again. Suber puts it up, finds the front of the rim. Rebounded by Easton.
Yeah, beautiful job. DJ again just trailing in his hip pocket all the way across the court.
Long pass to Pearson Young. He gives it to Eli Thomas. What a play from Lynchburg, from DJ Ross from half court all the way to Pearson Young in the corner, up to Eli Thomas. A great team play for the Hornets. Suber will hit it off to Palmer. Palmer for, well, back to Palmer. Covered by Thomas. Blocked by Pearson Young. Jason Easton's got it. DJ Ross, you can imagine he's going to want to take it quick after a play like that. Ground pass to Mitchell. Mitchell can't get it to go. Eli Thomas with a tip. They're going to say it'll be Eagles ball.
And how about that? Point guard, Pearson Young, 2 blocks.
We'll get a look at it. Oh, there's the nice layup from Eli Thomas. Look at that, Pearson Young. We've mentioned a couple times, multi-time defensive player of the week. Pearson Young, that veteran leadership really showing out today. Hutchinson's got it under the rim. Can't get it to go. He gets the offensive board. Second chance, and they're going to say no foul, but it will still be Eagles ball.
And I think when you talk about guards, I mean, Lynchburg kind of has, you know, all the tools in the toolbox sitting on the bench, right? You know, coming into the game, you got Hart and Young, the starters, defensive, you know, energy's there, the presence is there. Then you got guys like Ross, you know, both of the Rosses who are the offensive guys. They get stuff started in a hurry.
Another 3 missed. Ingram puts it up from deep. Pearson Young with a rebound. He'll drive to the corner, double covered, full court press again. He'll get it to DJ Ross. He's going to take it quick. Nice little floater up and in. DJ Ross, I mean, this kid, he's just a freshman, Kevin, and he is really showing out against the Eagles.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got Pearson Young trapped, and 3 seconds later, you know, Lynchburg's got 2 points on the board. That's how it happens with number 2 in gray right now.
Smith going up again. Another great job from Smith. I mean, he had 3 Hornet defenders around him and just finds a way. He sneaks through the crevices and finds some open space. Still down by 20. You just got under 8 minutes. You got to imagine it's starting to look bad for the Eagles. Pearson Young puts it up. Misses pretty much everything. It'll be Delowich up the court. Finds Palmer. Palmer will draw a whistle. And we'll have Matt Hain check in shortly. Yep, he'll check in now, and we'll get a timeout, quick media timeout. 7 minutes, 26 seconds left to go in the second half. Hornets 77, Bridgewater 57 on LHSN. 77-57 in the second half. Really has been a blowout all game. There are a lot of players that we can highlight for Lynchburg. Jason Easton, 19 points, 3 rebounds, and it's just been unstoppable for the Hornets. But, I mean, you've got 9 different scorers for the Hornets. That really is a recipe for success. And when Jamarcus Brown, your best player, isn't your leading scorer, that's a good look for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It just speaks to the depth of the Hornet bench, and really, everybody, because you look at the box score and you got 4 guys in double figures. I mean, that's getting it done kind of in all phases. They're kind of offensively doing things at ease.
Jesse Mitchell with the board off the free throw. Pearson gets it to DJ Ross. You can imagine every time it just looks like he's trying to find the best pass. Jason Easton for 3, gets it to go. Jason Easton, 22 points. Have a day.
Yeah, and a beautiful job again. You talk about finding the right pass. DJ finds Pearson, and when you've got that pressure coming across half court, you got 2 guys guarding on the near side against DJ. Someone's open. You get the ball to Pearson Young, who's a great passer in his own right, and he finds Easton in the far corner. And again, you leave Easton open. That's a recipe for disaster for a defense.
Well, and you got to think with how many shooters there are on this team, it's not just one singular pass that can be perfect. There can be a build-up play, and that's another reason why we praise DJ, is because he's so good not only with the assist column, but finding your open shooters that can link up different types of passes. Here he is, DJ Ross, double covered again, finds an open pass to Mitchell. Jamarcus Brown with a little fake, tries to drive up. He finds Jason Easton. He falls down to the ground. Jason Easton, Pearson Young just makes a cut, and Easton didn't see it in time, so it'll be a turnover and Bridgewater's ball.
I mean, it's just another flashy pass. You get double teamed at the top of the key, and the guy finds, what you can't see any daylight, and he still finds a wide open Jamarcus Brown, and that kind of gets the offense spark plugged. And you had a chance there for an easy conversion. Pearson Young was going to be streaking wide open to the near side of the basket.
Whistle blown on DJ Ross. You got to imagine this kid can play 40 minutes of a ball game. At least that's what it looks like. I mean, with the minutes that he gets, he's doing everything he can to get a turnover, to find an open pass, to find an open shot. And it's not even just, you never see him lollygagging or anything. He is doing everything he can every single second that he is on the court, and that is what has impressed Coach Hillary Scott this entire season so far. Again, you've got only 8 games to mess with, but another play, a whistle, DJ Ross. I mean, he just finds ways to keep the ball in Lynchburg's hands.
Well, it's his attention to detail, and that's what makes him such a special player. And because even when he's not on the court, he's starting the game out on the bench, but he's sitting there, he's seeing how the game's unfolding. Where are the weak points of a defense? What do I need to get to? Not only for me to score, but what backdoor cuts are there? Who's got the hot hand? Who can I find on the offensive end? And that's what makes him such a special player, because he's taking no minutes off even when he's on the bench. He's locked into the game, figuring out how can he be better as a player, as a playmaker, passing the ball, but also as a scorer.
You got a ton of youngsters on this squad alongside him that you can imagine have a really bright future. Obviously, DJ Ross has done really well with the minutes that he's gotten to start this season. Jaden Palmore is another one that we really expect is going to make a huge impact, maybe not this year, but in the upcoming ones. There's a bright future for this Lynchburg squad.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're a fan and you're Coach Scott, you got a lot to be happy about for many years to come with what you're building here in the Hill City.
You still got 2+ years with Jamarcus Brown, which is even better. Kyron Smith with a little jump up. Can't get it to go. Easton with a board. They'll give it to DJ Ross. This is something we don't see too often. He's taking it slow up the court. I mean, when you're up 22 with just under 6 minutes to go, you're trying to waste all the time you can. Jason Easton, another 3. Can't get it to go. Just missed it. We'll have Ingram. Pass up to Smith. Back to Palmer. Palmer to Ingram. Hutchinson on a screen. Ingram keeps it. Blocked by Jamarcus Brown. I mean, this is unbelievable from everyone on this Lynchburg squad. Jesse Mitchell for three. Bang! Jesse Mitchell extends the lead to 25.
Yeah, and offensively, Easton started that possession on the far side. Brings two Eagle defenders to him, just drives in an easy little handoff dish. Jesse Mitchell at the top of the key. He's knocked down three of those, kind of in a similar spot, just those dribble handoffs for open looks outside.
And it starts on the defensive end for a lot of these plays. Palmer for three. Won't go. Rebounded by Ross. And you go back to the last possession. Jamarcus Brown with a nice little bat away. I mean, it starts there. Jason Easton driving. Gets it up and in. Jason Easton, 24 points. What a game from Jason Easton, the senior from Buchanan, Virginia. Outstanding performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a lot of that, obviously, due to his prolific shooting and scoring ability. But how about his teammates? Getting him involved, making the right plays. I think that's what's so impressive about this offensive end. And Jamarcus Brown, a little bit of contact, but how about the sell?
You heard the scream and everything. That sounded like you sounded like we were in the NBA right there. That's something that, when I'm watching a game on ESPN, is you see it right here. What a play from Jamarcus Brown. It seems like every contact in the paint, whether you're on defense or offense, when you're watching the NBA, he's always screaming, trying to sell.
Yeah, absolutely. You see that little extra body movement there.
Jamarcus Brown pleading for contact, won't get it. And it'll be Jenkins up the court to Jameer Brown. Up to Ramey, back to Brown. Brown trying to drive, staying in. Tipped up by Jamarcus. And there will be a whistle. 32. It'll be Mason Ramey. Jameer Brown will head to the free throw line for the Eagles.
So I'm going to plead Easton's case right here because as a player, that's always so frustrating. You make a great defensive play. The near side ref, the guy that's there watching you like a hawk, doesn't call the foul. It's the ref at half court that calls the push. And obviously different angles, you can see different things, but those are such tough fouls to kind of accept as a player because you just played great right in front of an official. He didn't call it. The official that's 30 feet away is the one that blew the whistle. So a little bit of a rant from me, but I just wanted to take up for Easton for a moment.
Bridgewater still with the full-court press. DJ Ross finds Pearson. Pearson to Jamarcus, back to Ross. Ross slowing things down a bit, just under 4 minutes on the clock. Ooh, looks like DJ Ross wanted to pull up. He finds Jesse Mitchell wide open at the top of the paint. Another good pass from Ross and another great shot from Jesse Mitchell. What a game for him, too. I mean, there have been some silent killers for this Lynchburg squad, Jesse Mitchell being one of them. Ramey hands it off to Brown. Brown following Ramey. Finds Javon Jenkins. Covered by Pearson. Finds Brown in the corner. He drives in. Nice shot from Jameer Brown. We haven't really called his name too much. I mean, it's been all Lynchburg, but every time it feels like he has the ball, there's pressure on this defense. Pearson Young now. Finds Jamarcus Brown. Pearson Young open in the corner. Elects to take a shot. Gets it to go. Pearson Young just adding to the tally of points. 92 for the Hornets. And that'll be 14 for Pearson Young.
Yeah, I'm a little unsure about that defensive possession. Pearson Young, one of the best shooters on the ODAC last year, and you just give him 5 feet of space. Now, obviously, Lynchburg trying to waste clock, but when you got a shooter like Pearson Young, why not?
A beautiful shot from Jason Easton there. An even better layup here. Pearson Young ending this possession with a three. We'll be right back after this media timeout in just a short moment. And we welcome you back to Turner Gymnasium. It is all Lynchburg, all game, 92-63, a 29-point lead. You love to see it if you're Coach Hillary Scott.
Absolutely. I mean, the team has played well in almost every facet of the game. Defensively, he's led the offense, great passing, great point scoring. The shots have been falling. It's been a beautiful day to be a Hornet fan.
Ramey to Donner. Donner back out to Ingram. That three-pointer won't go. Rebounded by Ramey and up and in. It's 92-65. 2 minutes remaining. You got to imagine Lynchburg's in victory formation as of right now. You've got Palmore into the ball game. You got Ty Sanders, a freshman, also checks in. Van Nellison in the corner for three. Oh, boy, I feel like that bench would have erupted if Van Nellison was able to hit that. He's coming back from an injury from the beginning of this season. You've also got DeAndre Ross and Henderson checked in for the Hornets. Jameer Brown up to Matt Hain in the corner. Matt Hain, a nice corner from three. Matt Hain, again, we mentioned he was from Australia, but knocking down a deep three, I mean, he's 6'7" in that corner. That's an impressive shot.
Yeah, absolutely. We know he's a prolific shooter. And on the other end, 6'9", Van Nellison, he's a big-time shooter. We saw him put one up. And crafty finish here on the other end, Jameer Brown.
Yeah, Jameer Brown, really somebody we highlighted at the beginning of this ball game. And, if you're him, you need everybody around you to be able to put up good passes, good shots, good everything, and Lynchburg really has snuffed out every opportunity.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's interesting about this team. DeAndre Ross takes a three, a little strong on that one, but Lynchburg, they've got kind of their third rotation off the bench into the game, if you will, with Ross, Henderson, all those guys. But, I mean, these guys are quality players. It's not like they're just dumping their bench to put guys into the game. These are big-time minutes because they can have an impact. Later in the season when you start to get to that heart of ODAC play, maybe God forbid the injury bug strike, but these guys, they can play meaningful minutes, and this is just kind of one of those feeling-out process. Get them into the court. Let them get some moments working together as a unit. Figure out how each other plays, and you can build on that.
And not only are you getting these players minutes for a possibility of having a good end of the season if there is an injury bug, but this is also for the future of this program. I mean, when you throw in Ty Sanders, Van Nellison's just a sophomore. I mean, he had a good contribution last year, but he's still young. You get Cooper Stam, you get Jaden Palmore. I mean, even DJ Ross getting a ton of minutes this ball game. You're not only getting people experience in for the middle of the season, late in the season, if they can go on a run, but also for future years to come and the future of this program.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've harped on DJ Ross, kind of coming in and being so sensational as a freshman. I'm going to give some flowers to his older brother, DeAndre. He took a year off last year, comes back this year, and he's been a big player, a big key to this team so far. And obviously recruiting his younger brother to come join the Hornet squad has been a big impact. You look at what DJ done today in 17 minutes of play. You look at 7 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. Obviously, that's not going to stand out to you on a stat sheet, but his ability to break the press, to get other teammates involved, and just kind of set up an offense. It's been a huge key to this Lynchburg team, and that's what he does. DeAndre
Ross with a nice acrobatic layup and in. You mentioned give your flowers to the older brother, and it's crazy. DeAndre Ross, a senior. DJ Ross, a freshman. These two look exactly the same. I mean, you could, if you're DeAndre and DJ Ross, you could easily pull off that you guys are twins.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can switch numbers. If somebody gets into foul trouble, slide them the other one's jersey. No, but, I mean, these guys, they're, big-time players, big-time assets. And DeAndre, 2 inches taller than DJ, but you saw in the last possession he can get up. And when he's in the game on offense, he gets downhill just as quick as DJ, and he will put somebody on a poster in a heartbeat.
Ingram to Donner, and that will be the ball game. It was domination from Lynchburg from the start. Bridgewater fought back a little bit in that middle area of the first half, but it was all Lynchburg. 94-70 for the Hornets. They will move up to 6-3, 2-0 in conference. Bridgewater, on the other hand, 4-3, 1-1 in conference, so they'll be around that 500 mark. The good thing for the Eagles, it's early on in the season. You're only 7 games in, and you've got a lot of work to do, though, but there are some bright spots. You got a lot from Kyron Smith today. Yeah, he had a really great ball game, but you go over to that Lynchburg squad, a lot of great scores. Jason Easton, easily our player of the game. 24 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 for 9 from deep. As we see here, a couple of his threes. A beautiful job from him, but you got to give your props to everybody else. Jesse Mitchell, 15. Pearson Young, 14. Jamarcus, 13. You got a couple other scores in there. DeAndre Ross, another great game. All around, Lynchburg, fantastic ball game. Kevin, if you're Bridgewater, what are your next steps going up to your next game?
It's just continuing to allow that veteran presence. They've got a lot of veteran leadership on that team. They did do some good things today. You talk about the first half cutting that lead. I think for them, it's just fundamental things that they can clean up. That's the best part about, when you look at a film, if it's fundamental things, those are easy to clean up. You just find ways to not turn the ball over as much, get the ball into your scorer's hands, and then defensively, you just got to bring a little bit more energy and intensity. It seemed like just in the first half of that game, they just come out a little bit slow, and that's why Lynchburg got off to such a hot start. And for Lynchburg, on the other hand, they're 6-3, and you look at the schedule, they could easily be sitting at 9-0 right now. And you look at the loss against Catholic, who's a ranked team. They were leading that game 10 at halftime. You look at the loss against Pfeiffer. They were leading that game with 1 minute to go in regulation. You look at Chatham, they were leading that game. That ended up being a 3-point loss. I mean, this team this is the truth. And if you're a top-heavy conference, or if you're one of the teams kind of in that top 4, you don't look at Lynchburg as a light opponent, because at any point in time, you can see the way they play today, and they didn't do anything. They didn't do everything perfect today. So that's what's scary. They still have things to work on, after scoring 94 points in a conference win.
Bridgewater's next contest will be Saturday, December 13th against Mary Baldwin in Stanton, Virginia. For Lynchburg, their next ball game will be against Denison and at Greenville, Ohio. That's going to be a tough matchup. That'll also be on the 13th, which is a Saturday, 2 p.m. Well, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Ethan Borotsky. My partner today, Kevin Nestor. Always fun. We'll have to do this more often, Kevin, but on behalf of the LHSN crew, our director, Grayson Howell, did a fantastic job. Everybody on camera, replays, graphics, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on LHSN and FloSports. Have a good one.